Welcome to everyone who's joining this Finngineers number 3. We're still waiting for people to join us, but we'll shortly begin. The program of today is the digital frontier. And maybe I could start with introducing the schedule of today, so you already get an idea of what you will be hearing about today and at what point you can also ask questions. So today, my colleague Henri Paananen and myself will be introducing some points about engineering in Finland, the whole field of engineering, but then also how to apply. And then we will also tell you a bit more about 3 specific degree programs at SAMK, Centria, and Seinäjoki University of Applied Sciences. This Finngineer project is a collaboration between 3 universities of applied sciences: Satakunta University of Applied Sciences, Centria University of Applied Sciences, and SEAMK, so Seinäjoki University of Applied Sciences. And it's our goal to shed light on the field of engineering, tell you more about why it's an important field, and how you can join us as an engineering student. Once we've went deeper into these 3 degree programs, we'll have a look at what R&D is shortly as over a few slides, but then our colleague from SAMK will also tell more about that field. We will hear some student voices with our Seinäjoki student Andali Hossain, and Ali Tavakoli from SAMK will spread light on working in research and development. After that, you'll have some time to ask questions, and you can always use the chat during this session. And then after our main presentation, you will have the possibility to join breakout rooms where you can meet directly with the teachers of each program and ask any question you have on your mind. And then you can also change from breakout room to breakout room if you want to speak with everyone. And no worries, we also will share the contact information of each university so you can then ask more. But maybe we'll get started with the presentation. Yeah.
Yes.
So of course, first things first, let's talk more about engineering in Finland and why actually it's a really meaningful field to actually talk about here today.
So if you think about basically the innovation capability of Finnish style to make up new things and innovate basically in the bigger contexts, it's basically based on our education system that we have reformed about maybe 50 years ago, and if I think in big picture. And that way we have been able to make equal education for everyone in Finland, and that way we are able to raise up our educational level, and that way also the brightest minds and those people who are interested to know more and develop their own competencies. This is all made possible, and that way we have been raising up basically our capacity building of innovation and making those innovations as a products, I would say. Maybe you can mention a couple of inventions what is from Finland.
Did you know that, like, for instance, the internet browser was invented in Finland, or the SMS was invented here, or the heart rate monitor, mobile phones, or 5G network? Like, these are things that are all around us, and you maybe not know that they're actually from here. Or then maybe you remember the Nokia phone.
Yeah.
That's Finnish. And also the Oura ring, which is maybe not that familiar with everyone, but it's one of the first digital rings that used to
smart rings, basically.
Yeah.
So it has lots of technology inside of the small ring. And if you think about basically internet servers like Unix and Linux, Linus Torvalds has made the Linux kernel, and basically this kind of Finnish technology and innovation has spread all over the world, and it's basically open source and free, and it's very efficient way to run servers. So basically, in the mobile phone that you are running includes that kind of Finnish fingerprint,
Exactly.
I would say.
And actually, according to the Bloomberg Innovation Index, Finland is part of the top most innovative countries. So basically, it's in the culture, as you mentioned, with this startup culture and everything. It's part of the DNA of Finland. They want to keep innovating and make things better, because Finland is also quite a new country, a bit over than 100 years. So I think it's also boosts a bit the will to make things in a new way and improve things. And now if you look at the future tech, it's quite like it's involved in all these topics like AI, Internet of Things, or what would you say?
Yes, naturally, I would say like AI, we have a startup which is raised from the universities, Silo.ai, which has been sold to AMD processor company, and they are basically now the software company of the AMD's whole picture. So in Finland, we are doing the software for AMD, and AMD is focusing now on the competition of NVIDIA's AI processors. So basically that way, this is a good example that we have the capacity and we are able to involve in the global network, how the engineering skills and future technologies are going towards. And same with IoT, and also the, as mentioned, the network technologies like mobile networks in Nokia and Oulu area, close from our area. There is the research which is based on those 6G networks already, so 5G is nowadays basic. There is the research and standardizing going on with the 6G, and basically that way the Nokia is also the part of that kind of networking business globally at this moment. And in this, it is connected naturally into the industry IoT systems that we need, Internet of devices, and basically cybersecurity, same thing here. And if we think about this quantum computing and calculation powers that we are needing, for example, we have this Center of Scientific Computing, and we have a LUMI computer, which is one of the most competitive and ecological supercomputers in the world. And it's located here in Finland, and we can use, for example, this LUMI supercomputer in our education in future. So we are going towards that.
And it's mentioned here the startup culture in Finland, and you maybe have heard about the Slush event, which is in Helsinki every year. But entrepreneurship is really built in the educational system and in the Finnish mindset, I would say, because from a very young age, we encourage, like, do you have a business idea? We even have pitching competitions at the universities. It's encouraged for you to build your own path. So it's not like you have to always follow a path which has been already made in front of you. But if you have your own idea, you can also try to pursue it. And I think that's very beautiful, and why that leads also to this innovation.
Yeah, you can do your own path of life. You can do maybe own company or work at big companies, and always naturally you can study more and build up your skills on the basic existing knowledge. And if you think about this in the big picture, the Finnish education system, I would say, is something like very unique, because our approach to learning is that kind of we are thinking those things, especially in the University of Applied Science, in practice and doing those things by hands. And this is the context that we are doing and applying the latest scientific background, because we are in the university level. So that way, when we have been learning to do this kind of learning for our whole school career, basically. It's totally different approach than many countries that have this kind of that we are lecturing and making exams. We are here learning together and building the knowledge together and applying them into real life concrete examples and demonstrations.
Yeah. We keep on building tomorrow also as we speak. So
yeah, basically, so that way it works and everyone has the same equal possibilities.
A few words about Finland. So Finland is very like values sustainability very much and is valuing green tech very much. Actually, if you look at Finland from above, you will see that 86% of the country is covered in forests. And that's really, it also sort of like shows what's important for Finland.
Yeah, and that's the first thing that you will notice when you are coming on the airplane to Finland, that here is so much forest
everywhere.
Yeah, totally different scenery than we are used to usually when we are going down on the airport.
And basically along this like importance of nature, we'll see that renewable energy is also very important in Finland. So we're developing wind energy, solar, hydro energy.
Yeah.
Many people have on their houses even like solar panels, and schools often have on their roof solar panels. But then of course, like in the nature, like you'll find these windmills and so forth. So it's really a big thing in Finland, and actually one of Finland's goals is to be carbon neutral by 2035, so in 10 years.
Yeah, and basically if you think about this country as a phenomenon, we have lights, lots of lights during the summertime, even the darkest hours. There is no basically black moments at all in the Kokkola area. And if you go a little bit northern, the sun doesn't set at all. And that's the one perspective, maybe using solar energy on those months, and also the wind energy and these kind of things. And naturally, the circular economy is our focus, and this double transition, I would say, the digitalization and green technology, and combining these two big things together, we are basically building up our capacity to compete in the global economy, basically. And those basically approaches are very sustainable. We are not taking anyone's resources and this kind of approach, so everyone should be respected.
Good that you mentioned the circular economy. That's a very big thing in many areas where we sort of like use the waste from another and it becomes the gold of somebody else, and we just reuse and use more smartly. So I think it's a better like smarter use of things, and for all of this we need engineers. So that's why I wanted to mention this also, that's in making a better tomorrow we need engineers.
Actually, like we are doing in laboratories, making this kind of waste into a new 3D printing materials, and this kind of R&D activities are happening just one floor down. In concrete level.
And here are a few fields of engineering.
Basically, if you're thinking about this engineering in Finland, it has been maybe 150 years over before our independence already, and naturally the industrial level has always been raising up, and basically the digital and technology with AI and virtual reality and health technology and startups has been mentioned, but we have strong traditions of the maritime engineering sciences, and those maybe some examples that biggest cruise ships are built in Finnish shipbuilding companies. So basically that kind of things are happening in our area also. And biotechnology is something that is very, very important in the future, basically on those materials, as I mentioned, how to use them again and how to use biodegradable materials and this kind of sustainable approach to technology, and use good materials when we are doing those things and doing new gadgets basically. And that clean energy just like been mentioned, nowadays the batteries and this kind of smart storage systems, how to store electricity is something that we will have to look at further, and also the hydrogen and new fuels, and this kind of approach is happening at this moment, and also how to make the electricity sustainable that way that we have enough capacity to use energy, and this kind of solution we need smart solutions applying AI and this kind of models, and basically everything is built still on hands-on professions. Yes.
Maybe if you have questions, I would suggest if you can leave them for the end so we can.
Yeah, maybe.
Or you can write them in the chat.
Yeah, but basically the approach of Finnish engineering sciences are always the hands-on. So we are doing things in practice and trying out new things, learning things by doing. And this is something that cannot be basically studied in the traditional science university, because that's the basically
the
essence of it, that we will have the latest knowledge and latest papers that are released, and we are trying those in practice with the companies in our area, and that way we are basically also developing the company's capacity of renewing their business models and updating those things together basically.
I would like to share this point that, as you know, this is the third webinar that we're hosting on the topic of Finngineers, and we had 2 webinars previously, and in both of them we actually covered shipbuilding to some extent, and then in the other one we covered also more like hydrogen and clean energy with the chemical engineering and other topics. So if I can ask one of my colleagues, maybe from Seinäjoki, to share the links in the chat to the previous recordings, so then if you're interested you can also check the previous ones after this webinar. But it's maybe good for you to get a whole global picture, because you can see that engineering is a broad field. It's not just one, like the engineering profile is not one profile. There's different kinds of engineers actually. So,
and if I'm thinking about maybe this, my field of specialization is naturally the information technology and these kind of phenomena, and it differs a little bit from the traditional fields of engineering, that way that we are much more able to scale, and it's many times much more immaterial things that we are doing, especially when we are working in the field of software engineering. But naturally we have to link to those electronics and that kind of things. So basically the engineering sciences are seen as a whole, but if you think about what is the direction that we are going towards, every system should have this kind of approach, how to use technology more efficiently, because the competition is going to be tighter in the upcoming years. And also basically the knowledge that you have as an engineer, you are able to understand the phenomena of physics. You have the capability of mathematical thinking and also the algorithmic thinking, I would say. Also, that's basically the IT perspective. But you will have to able to understand the logic behind basically the electricity ones and zeros. You know, the logic, how it works. And if you are thinking about the future, there is the clean energy, as said, smarter cities, that way that we are using AI and estimations and data much more efficiently in the future, and we need those fast mobile networks to do and allow those small devices to be connected to the internet and share the data. And basically also the healthcare systems, there is huge possibilities in this field of sciences, basically combining technological skills to help. And that's the beauty of basically the engineers, because engineers are everywhere, and without technology, we wouldn't be here at this day discussing about this topic. And if you think about this effect that we are doing in the big picture, we have this climate change and green ICT, green technology solutions are the key, that we make the world more sustainable and not waste our limited resources for our upcoming generations after us. So we have the possibility to change the direction now before it's basically too late, as we all know. And when we are working as a field of engineering, it is always impacting basically the world. It is that way the meaningful work, and it's visible in the everyday lives. If we are thinking about without technology, there wouldn't be basically nothing.
We wouldn't be here, the lights would not be on.
And always it's the challenges that we are very eager to solve, and we see something that is not right, and we know this can be done better. So basically the critical thinking, that way that we are applying this scientific knowledge and also the latest solutions on practice together, and we are able to solve many complex problems and developing and trying out new things that way.
Exactly. And now we were, of course, mentioning the role of engineers. And maybe you're wondering, do you have what it takes to be an engineer?
Yeah, that's about your own attitude, basically. I wouldn't say you don't have the skills. It's about you. If you are a curious person, if you want to understand how the things work, basically in everywhere, because if you're thinking about nature sciences, everything is basically science, and we can measure it. So that way, if you are curious about life and phenomena and technology, and if you think about your nature that way, that you see something that's not perfect and you could maybe do things better, then you could have a correct way of thinking life. And also you need some kind of determination, that way that you are able to think about a little bit differently, to know the basics and learn the basics and try them out in practice. That way it could be something like that. And adding a little bit perseverance, experiments, try out once again. It didn't work at the first time.
You sometimes have to try many times to make something perfect.
Yeah.
Then the inventor of like electricity, he had to try many times before he made it work. So that's
and it's the constant battle of basically of those electrical currencies. Should we use DC or AC electricity in the 1900s, in the beginning of that era of industries? But things cannot be done by yourself. You can maybe design or invent a new thing, but when you are going to apply it into the working life and in the working environments, you need people to have certain knowledge of certain things. So basically, working as an engineer is teamwork, and you will have to be able to work with all of different background people. And you need that kind of soft skills also, that you are able to communicate the engineering language into another basically phenomenon and background of education people. That way the inventions can be made to real life and to support basically the existing things.
So to basically sum up, to be an engineer, it takes a lot of a good attitude, basically. But then the harder skills you can learn, and that's why you have the universities of applied sciences.
Yeah, we are here to learn, and we are here to learn together.
Exactly.
That way. But you need the attitude that you are willing to learn and want to work on together.
And the fact that you're attending this webinar today is the first step, and it's already a good sign that you're willing to find out. And hopefully you will receive good information about how to become an engineer. And actually, you may be wondering how you can join a university like University of Applied Sciences, like FAMK, Centria, or SEAMK. And basically, when you want to apply to university in Finland, you need to have a high school diploma or a similar document that would give you eligibility to university in your home country. That's a rule of thumb. And to all the English language programs, you also have to prove your English language level. So that will have to be an official document, or if you have an international baccalaureate, then in that case, usually you don't need to have an extra certificate. But these are the basic two things that you need. And then you'll be taking part in an application process. There are different routes to apply to the universities, but there's one page where you can find everything. It's study info. But every university has got their own pages with information about the different application periods, joint applications, separate applications. But in summary, it's always the same process that you apply and you submit all the required documents. And if you are from the outside of the EU or EEA area, you have to also pay an application fee to ensure that your application is processed on study info, and then you will follow the process as explained. But it's always the same process, and then the university will be in touch with you, but different ways to apply. And now when we talk about a Bachelor of Engineering, for all our universities of applied sciences, it's always the same kind of package. It's 240 ECTS. It always is planned to last 4 years, and they're all designed in the same way. So they will include basic studies at the start, and they will slowly build up over the years. There will be work placements or internships, and then a thesis at the end. But the content of the programs is, of course, then the same. You have been now hearing the terms University of Applied Sciences, or UAS, now along this presentation, and it's different from a traditional based university, but it's the same level. We just have a different way of teaching things. We are more practical and hands-on, and we offer theory, but we also do a lot of learning by doing. So as Henry was explaining, you'll be spending times in labs. Often in many courses, you will learn some theory, and then you'll shift to the practice side of things. So you're not only learning and remembering by heart, but then you also understand basically the physical learning. So you start to do by yourself, or then you understand the mechanics of something, so you can do it again. And then after graduation from such a program, the degree will be valued in Finland, in Europe, worldwide, because Finnish engineering education is very well valued. That's in a nutshell. So this is what is common to all our programs. But now I would like to take you to a small visit to 3 different programs. I would like to introduce especially the Bachelor of Engineering in Artificial Intelligence, which is taught at Satakunta University of Applied Sciences. It's a program that covers really hot fields, so to say, with AI and data, and it has good job opportunities. We all know that AI is very, very popular at the moment, and in this program you can take part in hackathons, international weeks, and projects with companies. And when you join this program, during the first year, you'll be focusing on data engineering. And then in the second year, you will either continue with data engineering, or then you can then take a shift to a more business track with the business artificial intelligence. Notice that this is then not an engineering track anymore, it's a business track, and it's 210 credits instead of 240. And then for the best students in this program, you can also be selected to join the Robo AI Academy. So it's a Bachelor of Engineering, but it then will be only offered to the best students. So the graduates from this program can work as programmers, but then you will have specific hands-on skills. So you can work with company data, AI technologies used in these companies. And you also have the necessary understanding to detect situations where AI can be implemented efficiently to create significant value for the company. And I think in the future that will be very much appreciated and keep on growing. So this was a program from SAMK. And if you want to know more about this program, I invite you to join the breakout rooms at the end of the webinar, so you can ask more from the teacher. But now I would like to welcome you also to Centria. We also have a program in engineering in information technology. And what makes this program unique is that it also starts with a steady build-up of skills. So you first learn the basics, and then you start to focus over the second and third year and fourth year. And you also take part in a capstone project where you work with people from different teams and gain very practical and valuable experience. You can also take part in cross-institutional studies. So that means taking courses from other universities where you can sort of create your own degree by defining what you're really interested in. You can either study as a daytime student, so studying on campus every day, or then in the blended format where you have a lot of independent study and then you come every second week to campus. Also in this program, there's a hands-on and close cooperation with companies and a lot of international possibilities, both study and work placement. When you look at the core focus and specialization, the first and the second year are all about building your skills as an IT engineer, so going through the basics. And then in the third year, you would select your profile, so either go for a sustainable software engineering track or then go with the smart devices and solutions. So either you'd be focusing more on creating energy sufficient, responsible, sustainable software, or then going more then for a more hands-on, I would say, or what would be the right word? In the smart devices and solutions, you're more than looking into intelligent data-driven systems where you integrate devices and sensors, networks, and AI, covering the full chain from sensing to analytics and embedded machine learning. And then in your fourth year, you would dive deeper, then finalizing your studies and working on your final thesis, where you can focus on something that really interests you. As a graduate, you can work as a software designer or engineer, RD engineer, IT manager, security expert, network service system specialist, or even launch your own startup. And if you want to know more about this program, please join us in the breakout room after the webinar. We can tell you more about the content of this program. And last but not least, we will go to Seinäjoki with the Bachelor of Engineering in Sustainable Food Processing. This is more a mix between a seamless traditional. There's a mix between traditional food processing and then a more like forward-looking focus on sustainability and circular economy and digitalization. So basically making the traditional food processing world or system more digitalized and up-to-date and future-oriented. And here also they have great labs in Seinäjoki, so the theory is immediately applied in our modern pilot factory and food science laboratories, mimicking a real-world research and development and production environment. First learning and then doing how to do things. The curriculum and projects are developed in close collaboration with the Finnish food industry, ensuring highly relevant skills. In the program, you can focus and specialize into specific fields such as sustainable food processing, where you would develop efficient, low waste and energy saving production methods. You can also focus on food safety and quality, where you would master hygiene, quality management, and the entire food production chain. In the plant-based and novel foods track, you can focus on the development of future foods and alternative proteins. And then in the digitalization data track, you can utilize data analysis, AI, and smart technologies in food production. As a graduate, you could become a sustainability engineer for the food industry. And you can work such as a production or process development manager, project engineer, quality manager, specialist, research and development engineer, production manager, basically an engineer who designs a sustainable food, future of food. And here also, if you want to know more about this program, I invite you to join the breakout room with Seamk after the webinar. It's really your chance to ask more about each degree program, how the courses are organized, what kind of courses you'll be learning, and so forth. We've been talking a lot about the words R&D, RDI, and things like that, and maybe you don't really know what those letters refer to. Basically, they refer to research, development, and innovation, which are actually a key role of the activities at the University of Applied Sciences.
And this is something that makes the universities of applied sciences a little bit special that way, that we are doing things together with the companies and also getting the latest information from the traditional universities. So we are basically the intermediary in between of those new innovations that are basically coming to life through hardcore science, and we are in the practical field of doing things together and experimenting with companies.
Each university has got basically their own maybe field of expertise, but all of our universities have got their own research and development labs and teams which work basically to improve the sort of the preparedness and support companies in developing their sort of future, and they help create new things with companies. So inventions and innovations happen at our university. The result is seen in companies, but the laboratories and the environment where this innovation happens is actually at the university. And this is something that students get to see. Yeah. You get to meet these researchers. You get to be involved in activities, not all the time, but there are some positions which are opened and you get to hear about them. So it's really you're all on the edge of seeing new things happen all the time.
And we have also this kind of collaboration models that a part of the certain course is taught by researcher or R&D specialists. So they are giving us the latest information in practice, and this way we are able to deliver the latest results to students also. And naturally our teachers who are working also in the R&D project. So this is basically the knowledge sharing and building together all the time.
So basically the teachers are teaching something which is very new all the time, not something from a book from 15 years ago, but based on very recent research, this is like this.
When the subject is that, but engineering sciences, we need a strong background.
Yes, of course. But in practice, what it means for students is that the learning environment is excellent for those that want to sort of see what's new and what's happening, because basically we have great labs at all our universities, very real, mimicking real life. And I know that, for instance, here in Kokkola, we have companies that come and run some trial tests, chem labs and things like that. So, and our students are in the same laboratory. So the material that we use in our labs are like real life company material. So you get to also become familiar with the material that you would be using and the tools you'll be using then when you enter working life.
Yeah, and for example, we have developed a cybersecurity laboratory, and companies are coming to test out and train their staff in our lab. And this is the way that we do collaboration, and they get the ideas from us and this kind of possibilities to do things together and learn together.
Definitely. The R&D activities are one of the highlights of the Universities of Applied Sciences. It really brings a lot of life and innovation to our universities. And it's a great chance for you as students also to maybe possibly connect with the companies also who are here, and allow you to see also where the companies are going, what fields they're in, and so forth. So keep that in mind when you join us as students to follow what's happening at the research and development side. And here are actually some pictures from our different universities, so you get a glimpse of what you could be doing as a student. And here also you can see that there's not one typical engineering profile. There are different kind of engineers. and you could be one of them. And I think now I would like to invite actually somebody who is an engineer student. Is Andalip with us today?
Yes, hello everyone. And I'm very happy to join here. I'm a sustainable food engineering student in Siam, University of Applied Science, and this is my last year. Basically, between my 3 years, I learned a lot of things, and today I will share my experience with others. Yeah, and the introduction page, it's simple. Like our main focus is the sustainable food processing. Nowadays we have very huge population all over the world, and we have a lack of food, and also it's very new about the sustainable food because our environment is changing so much fast, and we are trying to focus our how we can cultivate and how we can make our food in a sustainable way, that way we can save our environment also. We can get some good food from ourselves. So Siam, they design our food, sustainable food subject in a very good way. They also including lot of technical, uh, academical, and also the practical way, like they arrange all together. And they also including lot of like IT, AI, also others field education, so that way we can know how to use all those kind of things in our study purpose when we are studying. And basically when we study sustainable food engineering, we develop our skill by technically way, and from our teacher they also advise us which way we should go, and how we can learn easy to adopt the sustainability things. And in the our introduction, like skill, career opportunity, and impact of sustainable food, it's very not in Finland it's common, but for example, I'm from Asia, I'm from Bangladesh. In my country, it's very uncommon. But as international student, it's very good for me. I learn many new things as a international engineering student. And from our university, we have very good lab where we can go, and we can do hand work. And I think it's not common for a international student, because in our country we only focus book study. And now in here in Finland, it's totally different. We all university at applied science, they focus also they more focus a practical way. So I think as a student, it's very good for me, also for others. Then we know how to use a machine, and how then we know in practical life how it's gonna be work. Could you please go the next slide? Yeah, for example, you see, I'm working with my others student. We are trying to find how much starch in a French fry. So we try to figure it out how much starch when we uh like cook the French fry between a max temperature oil and the lowest temperature oil. So we all know in Finland, potato or ranska is a very famous food, and it's also we try to figure it out how we can make those French fry in a sustainable way. And our experience and study focus also the industrial expose, skill development, and some nowadays we focus also AI based. So in AI related, we try to figure it out how we can also analyze the food color and the food moisture and texture, lot of things with AI help. So it's also include AI and yeah, something like that, like skill development. We basically uh, in our department, we focus all the things all together. So that's why we know all the things what we need in our future as engineer. Skill, I think I almost finished my study and I already got a lot of skill about my study related, and I already practically show my skill because I am also working in food sector, and when I show my skill about my study skill, then where I work, the company also be happy, and they also like they also try to know like how I know those kind of things. So when they know I study in sustainable food engineering, so they always brave me, and like skill in a sustainable food management or sustainable food engineering, there is a lot of skill you need to gain, but those are very easy if you study and if you do the practical training and others things. It's include all your study. Uh, I already mentioned Siam already make their study curriculum very well, so you don't need to worry about your skill after study. So when you finish your study, you are totally packed all main skill what you need in your future. And basically, between our study, we also focus food safety, food quality control. It's very important, and also the hygiene maintain. Uh, we have almost three course about hygiene and food safety, quality maintain things, and the teamwork and communication when we do our practical and class homework or group work. So that time we also communicate each other. So it's build our communication skill, and it's very new thing for as international student, because in Finland there our education system is totally different and it's a world-class education system, and in that in if you do teamwork and communication, it strong your strategy, and it will helpful for your future teamwork and working place. And advanced processing technology, I already mentioned we use a lot of AI analyze, and in our SAMP lab, food lab, we have very advanced level machineries, and it's very helpful for us because when we run those kind of machine and we know how to use it, it's very helpful for our future job or our future career. So that way we know how to use those things. Yeah, future benefits and engineer. Yeah, it's very important as an engineer, all of engineer, especially in my field. Uh, Senoki, we know it's very good for food and agriculture. And there is a many company in near us, for example, Atria, Valio, and in our department, there is a lot of student. They already working there in like as a food quality controller, quality manager, and something else. And I think we also go there after our completing our study as a some part of those company, and they also offer us some internship place, and it's very good for us. And growing demand in sustainability, it's I already mentioned it's very common now in like all over Europe, but it's not common in Asian or African side or Latin American side. But there it have a huge demand, and very soon we will realize. And those countries they are realized now, and they are offering some engineer as their local or biggest company to give them as a job opportunity as a sustainable food engineer.
Hello.
Yes, I think. Okay, yeah. Could you go the next? Yeah. So our sustainability, food processing and engineering role is like the efficiency technology. So we try to use more technology based. It will help to reduce the carbon and waste product management. So that way how we can, for example, when we cultivate or some products or some vegetable, how we can use low water or low fertilizer to use our technology or some AI support. It will help for farmer to reduce their cultivation cost, and it's also help for our nature. And carbon footprint, it's very important. We try to minimize more, and it's help companies and environment to rules and regulation. And there is a lot of demand to in European Union now. They said there is a less carbon footprint. Every company need should follow, and that's why it's very important for like as a student. It's also good for us because we already know about carbon footprint and others. And business benefit, global support of global sustainability. Uh, some like more UN and some others big organization, they are globally supporting those things. And Siam, we have also some project about sustainable food. We try to also support globally how to manage food processing in sustainable way. And business benefit, like in locally, we also support some companies, and some companies also come to use our lab to check their product, how much like they need to update or they need to develop their own way. So yeah, like we try to like in our own practice way, like sustainable practice every day and every daily life. Yeah, next please. Yeah, like in Siam, education provide all kind of knowledge, skill, what you need in sustainable food processing as an engineer. So there is a everything what you need as a sustainable food processing engineer. And what is our focus? Combine technical expert and sustainable principle helps track the globally food production challenge effectively. And like in future, we try to innovate solution and promoting environmental sustainability in a food security worldwide. That's our like main target as a sustainable food engineering. Yeah, that's my presentation as a sustainable food engineer from Siam. Thank you.
Thank you, Andali. Could I maybe quickly ask one question? What are your
Yeah,
plans
sure.
when you graduate?
I have a plan to work in Finnish company, some Finnish company. Basically, I target Atria, and when I apply in SEAMK as a food sustainable food engineering, that time I search what after my graduation, what is the good place for me? So that time I saw Atria, Valio. There is a lot of companies, and I picked Atria because it's a very good and big company all over, like Finland, also all over Europe. So yeah, after my study,
And
I will start my career there.
thank you. And just one last question before we move to the next presenter. What was your best memory as a student at SEAMK? When did you know that, this is my field, I love this, I want to do this? Would you have a
Yeah.
memory that comes?
Yeah, when I search in Google or something else, and I saw some of their video, promoting video, and they said their study curriculum. When I saw their study curriculum, and I wrote everything, and that time I realized, okay, as a sustainable food engineering student, those are very suitable for me, and if I achieve those things, there is no doubt about my bright future as engineer in Finland. So after that, I decided, okay, I should choose SIAMK.
Lovely. Good luck with your
Yeah,
plans, and thank you so much for sharing your journey.
yeah, you're welcome.
Now we're going to be moving to Satakunta University of Applied Sciences, and I would invite Ali to share his slides, actually. I will close my presentation, and then Ali will be able to join. And
Hi everyone.
Ali, I will stop sharing my presentation now. You should be able to share your presentation also. And whilst you're getting ready, I would like to just mention that we've been receiving really nice questions in the Q&A section of this presentation, and we'll answer these questions after the presentation. So hold on tight, and we'll answer those questions because they were very relevant, and I think you all want to hear the answers. So, but Ali, the floor is yours. I hope you're able to share your screen.
Hi everyone. Actually, just a couple of minutes ago, I got the forced update on my laptop. Not the best thing you want to have before your presentation, but that happened. Luckily, I'm using the most updated version of my laptop right now. But just to make sure, how long time do I have here? Is this 15 minutes, right?
15 minutes, 20 minutes, I think it's okay.
Okay, great then. So, greetings everyone. This is Ali Tawakkoli from Satakunta University of Applied
Assalamualaikum.
Sciences. Pardon me.
Please ask all.
Okay, thank you so much. So greetings everyone. This is Ali Tawakkoli from Satakunta University of Applied Sciences. I'm here to talk about one recent project that we have called Green Tech for Transformation, or GT4T. And I'm going to discuss about the story that we are going through in this project and why it is important for us and why I'm presenting this project. For you, if you like, you can follow us on LinkedIn and get more about the updates of our events and what is happening in GT4T. So the project is funded by EIT, European Innovation, funding higher educational institutions sector for empowering higher educational institutes to be the engines of sustainable startups and create partnerships, particularly around deep tech education. Okay, so for you, if you might know what is EIT, it is European Institute of Innovation and Technology, basically. So you don't need to go through all these mumbles and these chaotic words. So just knowing that there are institutes and there are initiatives around EU that are supporting impacts, and they try to make changes in higher educational institutes and support those higher educational institutes by supporting them, by funding them, and trying to make those universities work together. We got this project funded somewhere in April, and we started to work together. We have partners from Netherlands, Ireland, Germany, Turkey, and of course Finland. And as a partnership, we are trying to make basically entrepreneurship and challenge-based learning in higher educational institutes curricula, supporting startup creation through our Venture Science Center that later I will discuss more about it. And looking into green tech and of course like deep tech as well through teaching about micro-credentials and also creating micro-credentials for our students. And if you might consider or if you might have a question, what are micro-credentials? I can tell you those are like simple online courses that by completing them, you're going to get a badge and you're going to learn your skills and you will be mentored through that process. But the thing that we're looking for is the real impact regionally and on a European level. And so far, we are at the middle of this project now. Again, this is the project structure. Just for your information, quickly, we have multiple work packages across this partnership that we are working with. But why this project at the first place was designed for us, and I mean, like why we designed this project and why we considered this application at the first place, it was our vision as SAMK. We respect and we value sustainability and sustainable development. And we value the Horizon 2030 when it comes to cutting carbon dioxide emission and also green transition. Other than that, we have this motto that every SAMK students graduate and find employment. Knowing the capacity within our region, we came to the conclusion that industries have limited capabilities in our region, basically. So what else we can do to make sure that our students, our talented students, are going to find employment? So we ended up with developing this project across our partnership, European Union, European University Alliance partnership. And more importantly, when we talk about Satakunta region, we have to consider the demographic of the population. So the fact that last year we had minus 700 as the total growth of the population within our province with 211,000 people. That number looks quite alerting for us and seeing the industry capacities within our region. So what we can do, the industry capacities are going down. We need manforce. We have these talented students. How we can get them to have and build enough confidence and enough skills to be ready to step into the job market. The structure of EIT European Innovation Academy, basically, as this. Sorry, somebody's hand is up. Okay. So the structure of EIT, basically, as how it works: education, innovation, and business as the triangle of knowledge, and the capacity that we have in our institute as deep tech education that we have, research centers that we have, and SAMK accelerator that we have. So made us to think about this concept. We call it Venture Science Center. Actually, just 2 days ago, we had the kickoff of Venture Science Center for our students. We are going to promote Flip Learning, CDIO method of education with micro-credentials, design thinking, challenge-based learning. And at the end, we hope that students are going to develop their own startups as people who will stand out or step out of this Venture Science Center. This is a place for them to do their practical training, work interdisciplinary with other fields, and other than that, doing their thesis and be ready for the next stages of their lives. Again, here, lots of information for you, but to make it here easy for you to follow these details, we considered our regional goal, our regional developmental goals. We considered our students and we come up with this idea. But what Venture Science Center stands for? It's a place, it's a hub among our European university alliances and partnership that we support our students to learn, work with each other, work across the borders, and develop their own business ideas as startups. So, as I said, we had the kickoff, and so far, I think like almost 70 students have registered for this initiative in our university. That's a big impact for us. And maybe a small video that I'm going to play for you to see like what happened in the kickoff day. I'm not sure if you can hear the voices, but so yeah, we decided to start our day, our Venture Science Center, with a contest with shooting rockets, basically. And students are going to work on a challenge of creating a CAN satellite or satellite CAN, basically. And we hope that they're going to shoot that up to 200 meters. They will learn a lot about the sensors, how sensors works, about technicalities and so on. Besides that, we are going to teach them about business development and also seeding those ideas that what they have learned in their educational programs, in fact, is going to support them to build their own businesses if they cannot find employment. So, yeah. Then we organized a couple of different kind of events, including this one. If you look for a startup community that we don't have in Satakunta, on Google, on ChatGPT or something, the first event that comes about, startup event about events related to startups in Satakunta, you're going to hear about the Startup Sparkle event that we organized. Multiple different active role players and important people in startup community that we didn't know even that they exist and they're working in Satakunta. We managed to gather them up. And we were lucky to have the mayor of Pori also participating in the event and support us and support the initiative in our region. Then hackathon that we organized in our organization for our students that brought the spirit of innovation, co-creation, joint action among our students here. We've worked with our research centers and we've worked with our accelerator program, but we are none of those. We have our own concept here that we're working with as an incubation center that is trying to seed the idea of developing your own business idea and developing the confidence within the minds of the students. So students will learn about transdisciplinary education. Students will learn to work together, teamwork activities. We are actively working with our ecosystem outside of SAMK to build an active ecosystem of startups. And also for international students, this is quite important for us that after their graduation or during their studies, if they are struggling to find a place to do their practical training, at least here, they can do their practical training and develop their startup ideas. So with that in mind, as we know, it is difficult for the students to go through the pathway of employment. We want to bring this idea and we want to support this idea to the companies. These are international students. These are young graduates, and these are young experts. If you cannot hire them at the moment, at least give them a chance, supports them. hire their services. We will be there to support them. We will be there to guarantee their performance. And with that in mind, we hope that we are going to improve our students' employability, our students' employment, and we want to create a new pathway for our students and for our experts to find their pathway to the job market and to the society. Integration and inclusion through job market, integration and inclusion through building the confidence in the minds of people that we trust you, we want to give you the opportunity, and we see you as future experts who are going to build Finland. That was about my presentation. And if anyone has a question, I would be happy to answer those. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali, for your presentation. And maybe I could take over the screen if you can.
Oh,
I can share
Sure.
my screen again. And there we go. So if you have any questions for Ali, you can also share them in the Q&A. There's actually a Q&A available, so we can maybe answer all the questions there in the order, because we've been receiving there quite a few. And it was very interesting to hear about the activities taking place at SAMK, and also very interesting to hear the student story from SEAMK. We've been going through all our universities and all the past webinars, so you've been hearing stories from different students and different companies and working life in different areas. But now in the quick Q&A, we received some interesting questions, and maybe it's good to cover them. For instance, one was about how is the climate in Finland, which is actually a very important question, because maybe you're coming from a country where you don't have snow, and we have a lot of it. Actually, not right now. Not right now, but like in the summertime in our areas, we can have around like 20 to 25 degrees. And usually sunshine, can rain also. But in the winter, it can go, I would say, down to -15, -20 on a very cold day.
Yeah.
But we have 4 different seasons, which is a very different thing to some countries who maybe have less variability. But
Yeah.
we have a real winter, we have hopefully a great summer, and then we have a short spring in the middle and a beautiful autumn. But we have different seasons, and of course, when you come here the first time, you're gonna wonder how to get ready for this. But all the universities give a lot of information on how to prepare, what to wear, and whilst it seems different, it's something that anybody can live in. We have 5 million inhabitants in Finland, so you can be also one of these people living here and don't worry about the weather.
Yeah, I would say there is the possibility to see the continuous transition of the nature. So it's going on towards the next season all the time, basically. It's not staying around for too much time. Basically, the summer is quite short. There will be autumn, and after that, lots of snow for a
Quite a
while.
long winter, but it's something to get used to. And you
Yeah.
can see the northern lights, and you know, life doesn't stop when it's winter. I know, like in American movies, sometimes they close down the schools when it's winter, but in Finland, that's not an excuse.
No.
You will have to come to school even though there's snow.
Yeah, and I have been saying to my students during November, and this last, it's snowing and it's melting.
Yeah.
This is about the Finnish sisu mentality. Basically, you have the strength to be at the time in the certain places at school and work. And this is basically the hardest time before the snowfall comes and the light comes back, basically. But it's the possibility to strengthen your mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody asked how many engineering fields they are. In total, very many. But like as an example, at Centra, we have 3. We have IT, chemical engineering, and then industrial management and engineering. In Seinäjoki, how many would you have? And how many do you have at SAMK? Do you remember by heart?
Yes,
Maybe more.
in,
Sorry.
yeah, in the English language engineering degrees at SAMK, we have 2 First one is automation engineering, and the second one is sustainable food processing engineering.
Thank you, Becky. How about Sam? How many do you have there?
Yes, so in Santa Clara University of Applied Sciences, we have 4, if I remember correctly. We have AI, we have mechatronics, mechanical engineering, and logistics in English.
So you see there's a very broad, very many options in engineering. And as we covered at the beginning of the engineering webinar, there's so many different fields. So it depends really on your field of interest. A very relevant question about how much salary you can get in Finland. I assume this is as an engineer. Basically, I would say there's like a window. It depends when you have like a starting salary when you graduate. So of course you'll get more money as you graduate. When you have a diploma, so I would say maybe around 2050 could be a starting.
Yeah, something like that.
2,500 euros, but that's without considering the taxes that you have to pay. So in Finland, you have a taxing system that increases according to how much you earn. So the more you earn, the bigger your taxing percentage would be. But usually I would say at that point, maybe it's like 25% roughly. And actually, if you Google engineering salaries in Finland, I think there's the how's it called? Like there's a Finnish group. What is this? Engineering Liitto. Engineering
technology industry in Finland.
Yeah,
I think it's categorizing it, and basically I would say as a whole, if we are comparing the different fields, the field of technology and in engineering sciences is basically, I would say, very competitively compensated in salary context in Finland. And I would say, and also that technology industries report that it says that we need 1,040 new engineer skills people in the upcoming 10 years in Finland. So
400,000.
Yeah.
So quite a lot of engineers are needed in Finland.
And 74% of them should have at least this university level education. So that is the estimation that we are needing.
And a few words about the salary still is that, of course, when you start your career, your salary will be lower. But when your experience increases and you become more valuable, basically, then of course your salary will increase as well. And one thing that I want to say about working life in Finland is that it's quite hard to find work if you don't speak Finnish. So I hope that those who are considering to come to Finland remember that it's not easy to find a part-time job, and it's not easy to enter the working life if you don't speak any Finnish. So my biggest advice is that you look into learning Finnish as soon as possible. Even if you haven't applied yet, check out Duolingo, check any kind of tool that you can find, listen to music, look at YouTube videos, but practice Finnish if you want to start a life in Finland and work here. Next question is there chemical engineering? We have it at Centria University of Applied Sciences, so I can type you the link centria.fi, and please look up more information there. Is there computer engineering? So this is something we offer as information technology here at Centria. Then Tom has got the degree program in artificial intelligence. So it depends a bit. I think computer engineering is embedded in many.
Yeah, I would say this information technology basically answers to your question. Yes, we do have that, and AI is one of phenomenons that is very common nowadays. I wouldn't emphasize that AI so much, because the trends will come, and AI as a phenomenon is not something new. It's been existing since 1950s from Alan Turing's paper, and nowadays it's the hot topic as we discussed with because it's the ChatGPT and general large language models, which are basically the user interface to use AI. But it's nothing new, to be honest.
There was a question about what are the opportunities. I think this is something we covered throughout this webinar. So if you were not able to join from the beginning, please watch the recording. We went through the opportunities for each field. Also concerning the admission, in order to join one of our universities, you need to apply. To be eligible, you should have a higher, you should have eligibility to higher education, so like a high school diploma or similar, and then you should submit that with a language test in one of the application periods. Every university has got basically their own, but we have to get moving so we have time to join the breakout rooms. I suggest that we actually move right away to the breakout room, so we have more time to go into detail about those. I think you can ask all of those specific questions actually in the breakout rooms, because some are not available after 2:30. So hopefully we can make that time, make it happen. Wait. If you have any questions about any specific university, I would like to invite you to take these emails. I'll write them to the chat actually when you are in the breakout rooms, but Centria, you can contact eduexpo@centria.fi. For Satakunta, you can contact admissions@samk.fi, and for Seinäjoki, please contact admissions@seamk.fi.
How can I apply this university?
Which one do you want to apply to?
In Finland.
Maybe if you can join one of the breakout rooms so we can talk with you and move forwards. Just before we move to the breakout rooms, please remember that we have a fourth and final webinar coming on the January the 7th, right before the joint application. And you can register to that through the same link as you did for this one. And now I will actually share a question through which you have to then, please answer the question that will start. And when you click the second question, it will open directly then a breakout room. And if you want to talk about
ma'am, is there any scholarship?
There is scholarships in all the universities.
The Sat-
What are the qualifications for that scholarship?
It depends on the universities, because all the universities have got their own criteria. So I invite you to check the scholarship information on each university website.
Ma'am, can you tell me about your?
What are the basics? Like every university is there.
Excuse me, what did you say?
What are the basic qualifications? Like most of the universities ask.
Maybe for the IT, you can stay on this main screen.
Ma'am, can we tell me about your university?
Hello.
If you have not clicked a breakout room, you can go and select one and just go to
Tunnussignet on 17 vielä, että jotka ei
Joo.
ole mihinkään mennyt. Ei itse seivannut ketään.
Sir,
Miten mä
no son.
Joo. Jäädäänkö me tähän huoneeseen? Joo, jostain kysyy vähän muuta.
If you're interested about the information technology program, you can join the IT breakout room with Henry. And then if you're interested in the artificial intelligence, you can join the SAMK AI group. And then if you're interested in the sustainable food processing, please join the SAMK one.
How can I join the breakout room?
What are you interested in?
I'm interested in IT.
I'm sending you there.
Ma'am, I want to join the IT breakout room. Sir, I want to join the IT breakout room.
Ma'am, can I join to medical room? Ma'am, can I join to IT room?
Ma'am, I want to join the IT room.
Mulla on 5.
I've been adding you to the groups, but you need to accept also. You can also write in the chat if you need to, if you want to be added to a breakout room.
Yes, I did get one, but it was for the food processing one. I want to join the IT one. Ma'am, I want to join the IT breakout room.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, I was a
Ma'am, could you please make me join in the IT breakout room, engineering? Ma'am, could you join me in the engineering breakout room? How to join each breakout room?
Programs. And naturally, we are doing this program as a collaboration with companies. So we have visiting lecturers from the industry and also possibilities to work real life projects, basically. As mentioned before, the degree program will be 240. Basically,
hello, ma'am.
the beginning of
Hello.
journey in the field of engineering and IT. As I emphasized, that
I want to go
mathematics,
engineering IT.
sciences, languages are important part of the engineering profile that we are educating here in Central University of Applied Sciences. So this strong background of sciences and mathematics are also part of your studies in Centria. And adding to that, we have this approach that you don't need basically any prior knowledge of the computing and networks. We are starting from the scratch and from the basics of computing. So you will get familiar with the hardware and software solutions and also the algorithmic thinking. And that way you are able to slowly move to the fundamentals of programming module. And after that, you are able to continue to the software engineering and usability study module, which is basically the first project that you are doing as a group and learning to do things together as a group. And you also learn how to use agile methodology in project management contexts. And naturally, we have this 30 credits of practical training included in our degree program. This means that the first practical training, 10 credits, is basically the idea to learn.
I want to join into the food and technology.
So usually if you have work experience earlier, it can be basically compensated already in your study plan. And just like Helena mentioned about the language